Rock Computer College. Define quality training in information technology.
Hi everyone, welcome to our new course, Adobe Illustrator for beginners. Now in this course we're going to go over everything that involves Adobe Illustrator, from how to create a new file, opening, and actually coming up with sound designs in Adobe Illustrator. The course will be easy to follow, and every single material that will be used during the course will be provided for you. So follow along and don't forget to stick till the end, because we'll offer some tips and tricks that will make working with Adobe Illustrator much easier. So in this lesson, we're going to look at the interface, take a deeper look at the interface in Adobe Illustrator. So the last time we created an artboard. Now let's look at some of the tools and the panels that we have. So over here we have the panels, some of the panels. We have the properties panel currently, and I have the libraries panel. So let's say I want to add more panels to this. All I have to do is to come to Windows, then click on the panel that I want to. So all these are panels. So I'll select on color, and here it is. It will pop right up, and I can use it from anywhere on my page. And if I would like to add it to my panels over here, just click, drag it, and drop it there. Now by doing this, I've customized my panel, and let's say if I close down Adobe Illustrator and open it again at a later time, it will remain the same with the color panel included. You can still come over here and select another panel. Let's select swatches, and as you can see, there are three of them. So we have swatches, we have brushes, and we have symbols. I can separate them if I want to and work with the swatches individually. I can do the same with the brushes, and likewise with the symbols. And if I would like to customize my panel on the right, just click on the panel that I want to add and drag it over here, and there we have it. You can do the same with this one. Just click and drag it over here, and by doing this, you're customizing your panels on the right side. And if there's a panel that you don't want to use, let's say I want to use this one, just drag it out and close it. So I'll remain with the ones that I want to use. Now if you end up messing things up, so let's say you're working with colors, drag it out, brushes, hide it over here, symbols, swatches over here, and it all looks like a mess. All I have to do is come to Window, let's go to the top, Workspace. So right now I have it under Essentials Classic, so I'll come and select Reset Essentials Classic, and it will take it back to how it was by default. Now if you've noticed, I'm using this little cursor, this tool. Now this is the pick tool in Illustrator, and it's mostly used to pick and move things around in your artboard. Now as you can look at the tools, I have them in two rows. Now you can decide to have them in a single row like so, or in two rows like so. And as you can see, I seem to have a lot of tools. So let's say you want to have fewer tools, like you don't want to use all the advanced tools that are available. All I have to do is to come to Windows, Toolbar, then right now it's on Advanced. Let's see what will happen if I select Basic. As you can see, number of tools I have has reduced. And click, you can actually move it from around your artboard and use it from wherever you want to. But basically, this is what a basic toolbar looks like. It has fewer tools than the advanced toolbar. So just bring it back over here. Come to Window, Toolbar, and select Advanced. Do that, and then I have all my tools in a single row. Another thing you really need to know when working in Illustrator is how to zoom in and zoom out. So there are lots of ways you can do this. So the first thing you can do is use the zoom tool. So with this selected, you can click on your artboard and it zooms in. Now if you're working with the PC, that is Windows, if you hold down Alt, you can see the cursor's changed to a minus. So right now I've released the Alt key and it's applied. So with the click, I'm zooming in, but if I want to zoom out, I'll just have to hold on the Alt key and just click and I'll zoom out. Another thing is you can just click and drag to zoom in. So let me just do that. So by clicking and dragging this way, you're zooming in. Clicking and dragging it that way, you're zooming out. Now you'll notice I have used this tool. This is known as the hand tools. It's another tool that will help you navigate around the artboard. So you just hold on the space bar and then you click and drag the artboard to wherever you want it. So that's one way of zooming in and zooming out. Another, you can come over here to window and then look for navigator. There it is. So I'll just bring it over here. Now from here I can select what percentage I want to zoom my page to. So you can select at 50%, that will be zooming out. 16%, can go back to 50%. You can even use these little icons that look like mountains to zoom out or zoom in. So let's zoom out and try zooming in. So there are multiple ways you can do this, but there are also shortcuts. Now doing all that will prove to be a lot of work when you're actually working with a project. Now let's say you're in a project and you really want to do this really fast. All you have to do, a shortcut to zoom in your page, your artboard, is by holding down the control key and plus key. So that will zoom in, and if you want to zoom out, it's control key plus the minus key, and that will zoom out. So control plus, zoom in, control minus, zoom out, control 0 will make the artboard fit the screen. That is, control 0 will make the artboard fit the screen. So those are some of the few things that you need to know about the interface as you work with Illustrator. Now in our next lesson, we're going to take a deeper look at some of the tools in Illustrator and how they're used. Welcome to our first class in Adobe Illustrator for Beginners course. Now in this lesson, we're going to learn about creating an artboard. Now the same way we have spreadsheets for Excel, documents for Word, and slides for PowerPoint in Adobe Illustrator, we call the area that we're working on an artboard. And it is possible to have more than one artboard at the same time. Like in Microsoft Word, you can have up to 10 pages when you're working on a document. So in Adobe Illustrator, you can have more than one artboards at the same time. So once you open Illustrator for the first time, it will give you these options. You can create a new document or open an existing document. So we'll click on create new, and this will open some presets for in Illustrator. Now it depends with what you're working on. If you want something to print out, you'll just come over here. If you're working with something for film and video, art illustration, for your web or your mobile, you will have all those presets over here. So over here we have the saved ones and the recent ones that you've been working on. So I'll select an A4, and as you can see, I have the details, the properties of that page at this side. So we have its width, its height, its orientation, and the number of artboards. So if you want 4, you just have to put 4, but for now I'm just going to work with 1. And we have the color mode, the raster effects, and the preview. Now a little tip: if you want to print out whatever you're working on, make sure that CMYK color is selected. But if you're working for something for your mobile or for web, make sure that you select the RGB color mode. So we're going to leave it as it is, and we're not going to touch anything over here, and then we're going to click on create. Now this will open up our artboard, and you can see the interface has changed. To the left, you have some tools over here. You can see all the tools we have, and to the right, we have some panels that we're going to go through in our next lesson. At the top here, we have some properties involving the artboard that we're working on, but we're going to look at every single one of these in detail in our following lessons. Welcome to the first lesson in Adobe Illustrator course for beginners. Now, In this lesson, we're going to look at the interface for Illustrator. And we're going to start with this. Now, when you open up Illustrator, if you're using a PC that is Windows, this will be what the interface will look like. Now, from here, you can see we have the menu bar at the top. We have its logo over here, and then you can create a new file from here. Open one that you've been working on. These are the recent ones that I've worked on in Illustrator, and you can actually create a new file using these sizes. You can create one that's an A4, a postcard, a web large, or an iPhone X, depending on what you want to do with that document that you want to create. So let's come over here and click on create new. Now this will come up. Now from here you can customize your document. So recently I've used a letter, an A4, or a web large. So let's see, if I select an A4, we have the details, the properties of this site. So we have the width and the height. So I want it, whether you want it in millimeters, pixel points, or centimeters. So you can come in and change a few things, whether you want it to be landscape or portrait, the color mode, the raster effect. So don't come and change. I will advise you for now, as we start off, don't change anything from here. I'm going to take this back over here. Don't change anything from here. So let's just work at changing the size here, the width, the height, the measurements over here, and the orientations. So once you're done, you can click on create, and now that will create a new page for you, a new document for you to work on. Now, as you can see, the page is open, and at the top we have the properties of the page. To top over here, you can see we have the properties of the page. Then we have the toolbar over here, and we have some additional tools that we're going to use on this side. So as we advance, we're going to look at each and every one of these in Adobe Illustrator and look at how to use each, and maybe not, if not all of them, the most important tools in Illustrator. So here's a quick tip on our first lesson. When you come to color modes, you've noticed we have two. We have CMY, this one RGB, and CMYK. Now RGB will be used only for digital documents. Anything you want to post online, go for RGB. But if you want to print your document at the end of, let's say at the end of you designing it, you want to print it out, I'll advise you to use CMYK color. Welcome back to another lesson on Adobe Illustrator for beginners. Now in this lesson, we're going to take a deeper look at the interface of Illustrator. So in the last video, we looked at creating a new document, a new page. But now here we're going to focus really on what is really going on in here. So first you can see how my workspace looks out. So if you want to have a singular workspace, you're going to go to Window, then Workspace. Make sure that Essential Classic is selected, and this will ensure you have the default layout for Illustrator. Then at the top we have the header. Now at the header we have all these menus. So whatever you need from Illustrator, you can come and find it from over here. From type, object, editing, anything you need will be over here. Then over here we have the control bar or the properties bar. So the control bar changes depending on what you selected. If I selected text tool, and I come in and start typing, as you can see, the control panel has already changed, and now what I have over here are properties that can help me customize the text that I have over here. So let's go back to here. Then we have the toolbar over here with lots of tools. They may look a bit crowded, but every single tool is important and has a specific use. And if you come and hover your mouse over it, it will give you a name. So like this is the magic wand tool, this is the pen tool, the type tool, and you can notice that some of the tools have this little drop down arrow. So if you click on it, click and hold, it will show you that it has additional tools down here. So let's click on that. As you can see, if you click on the rectangle tool, it'll also give you the rounded rectangle tool, polygon tool, star tool, and so on. So yeah, that's another thing you need to know about the tools. Then we have the document tabs. Now this is a document tabs. Now you can see that mine has not been titled, but what document tabs do, they give you the number of pages you have and a kind of a preview of what your document will look like at the end. So mine currently is entitled, but you can actually come here, select new. So at the top here, this is where you're supposed to name it. So let's name it lesson 2. A4, wanted landscape, create, and there you go. Now this is another document tab. So you can see I had 2 documents tab at the top here. This one shows me that this one is entitled, this one is titled, it's lesson 2, and you can see the presets are different, the settings are different. And that takes me to another thing, the artboard. Now the working area in Illustrator is known as the artboard, and you can have more than one artboard in Illustrator. So let's try that out. You can come over here. Now this depends on what you're planning to work on. So with that selected, over here you can come and add to the number of artboards you want. So let's say I want 4 artboards. Click on create, and as you can see, it has created 4 different artboards that I can work on at the same time. So you can have as many artboards as you want, working on one project at the same time without any limits. And this depends highly on what you're planning to design. On the side, we have the panels. You have different panels, and they act as complements to the toolbar. They offer additional help when it comes to working with these tools. And then at the bottom over here, we have the status bar. Now this is not really that important, but it does give you kind of it gives you more information on the page you're working on the project you're working on. It's not really that important, but it's good to know. So this is the status bar at the bottom over here. Welcome to another tutorial on our Adobe Illustrator course for beginners. Now in this course, in this specific tutorial, we're going to go over some tools, some panels that we use daily in Illustrator. So the first tool we're going to look at in order to make sense of the others is the shape tool, specifically the rectangle tool. So all you have to do is come here, click, hold down, and it'll show you all the other shapes that it has, but right now we're going to use the rectangle tool. Now there are 2 ways in which you can draw a rectangle. First, you can click and drag to draw a rectangle, or you can just click once and then this will come, and then you can select the size that you want. So let's say you want it 50 by 50, click OK, and there you have it. So you can click once, come up with the measurements that you want to work with, or you can just click and drag. And this is the same with any shape you want to create. Now let's say you want to create a square using the rectangle tool. All you have to do is hold down the shift key, so click and drag, and as you're doing this, hold down the shift key and it will form a perfect square. As you can see, no matter how many times no matter how much I want to distort it, it will form this perfect square for me. So let's go back to pick tool. Now another tool we have that you're going to use a lot is the pick tool. Now the pick tool allows you to select, move, rotate, change the size of or alter the size of a shape. Now if you put your cursor with the pick tool selected, place your cursor at the corner of the shape, so you can see it will allow you to rotate it like I'm doing so. If you use these handles at the end, you'll be able to make it large or distort it in any way you want. So that's another way, and you can click and drag it to move it to anywhere else or to select it. Now with that selected, I'll just click on delete, select those 2, delete. Now let's try using the ellipse tool. So with that selected, That's an ellipse that we've just created, and as you can see, we have its properties at the top. Now I want to create a perfect circle, so what will I do? I'll just click, and as I'm dragging out, I'll hold the shift key, and as you can see, it will just form this perfect circle for me. There you go, and here we have them. Now let's say you want to change the colors of this, so I'll come back to the selection tool, come over here to the color panel, click over here, show options, and now you can change the colors of the shapes. You can change the fill and the outline. Now you can see it shows that the outline is removed, but I want it to be present. So what I'll do is I'll double click on that, select a color, click OK. There we go. Now my fill color will be blue. My outline color is blue, as you can see. And then let's change the fill color. There we go. So I've changed the outline color and the fill color. Now let's do that with this one. So I want to change the outline color for this shape. I'll come over here, double click on it, select a color that I want to use. Let's just go with the red. Click OK. So that's the color that I want to use on the shape as an outline. And then as a fill color, I'll use different color. Okay, let's go with that. There we go. So as you can see, my outline is red, my fill color is purple. So yeah, that's how you can work with this. You can play around with this panel, the colors panel, and change the colors of the shapes that you have. Now, another tool that we use aside from the selection tool is this tool, the direct selection tool. Now, this tool comes in handy when you want to alter the anchor points of a shape. So with it selected, let's select this. So we have the center, we have an anchor over here, an anchor, and between two anchors we have a pulse. So if I click on this, it will give me these handles. And I can click on these handles and alter the shape of this. So I'll come and do the same thing, click on a point here, and it will show, if you click on any anchor point, it will give you the handles for that point, and then you can alter the shape of that. You can alter the shape of the ellipse tool, of the ellipse shape that I have, or the circle that I had. So that's another way you can use this direct selection tool. It's mostly to alter the anchor points and the path lines of a shape. Now, if you want to draw a more complicated shape that you can do with maybe using these tools over here, you'd like to use a pen tool. Now, a pen tool is the most used tool in Illustrator, and with it you can create anything. You just have to click, and then you connect, and then you've created the shape. So this is a shape I've created using it, and you can create any form of shape with the pen tool. So you can click, form a curve, come over here, create this one, click. So I want to remove the fill color, so I'll just come over here with that selected. There we go. That looks much better. So you can create curves, you can create any shapes that you want to with a pen tool. It's a really fun tool to use in Illustrator. And you can go on and on and on and on and create beautiful, amazing things using this tool. Delete and just move this one. So let's say we're remaining with these two now. Another panel that you're going to use in Illustrator is the align panel. So come over here, window, align panel, and here it will show. Now with your object selected, let's say you want to move this one object, you can choose to align it to the left, center, or to the right. But let's try selecting both of them and see what that happens. So I've selected both of them. When you want to align them left, it will move one to the left side of the other. center, right. You can see the changes that it's making regardless of what alignment you're choosing. So yeah, you can choose to select both of them and align them depending on what you want the outcome to be, or you can select them individually and just choose to align them individually, like so. Welcome to another lesson in the Adobe Illustrator course for beginners. In this lesson, we're going to look at some of the selection tools we have in Illustrator. We're going to create some shapes and then play around with fill color and outline color. So let's first create a shape. So select this rectangle tool and I'll draw the rectangle tool over here. And then you can see the properties panel on my right has changed. Now you can make some changes if you want, but what I'm going to look at is the fill color. So if you like to change the fill color of your rectangle, you just come over here, click on fill, then select a color. So I'll select this color, and that's it. That's how you add a fill color to your shape. Again, if you like to add a color to your stroke, come over here and select a color. So it's like this one. Now you can't really see that much. I'll select the selection tool. It's not really that visible, so if you like to make it visible, again select your shape, come over here and increase the weight of your stroke. There we go. And now you can see that we have this outline path over here, and we also changed the fill color. So let's try creating a square. To create a square, select the rectangle tool, then as you drag out, hold on the shift key. Now this will ensure that you form this perfect square. And you can see, just hold on the shift key as you draw, so click and hold on the shift key, and as you can see, the width and the height, they will remain the same and you formed a perfect square. So I'm just going to delete this and we need to find. So again, I'll change the fill color over here, change a different color. You can actually choose to have no stroke. So in our case, if you don't want to have a stroke around your square, you can select this option, and what this will do is that it will remove the stroke. Now you can see it doesn't have a stroke, but this one does. So yeah, you can choose to have a stroke or to remain without one. I'll add a black one, and there we go. So that's how you can create one shape, that is the rectangle shape and the square shape in Adobe Illustrator. Let's look at another shape. So you hold on here and you click, and then you have the rounded rectangle, ellipse tool, polygon tool, star tool, and flare tool. So let's look at the polygon tool. So click and drag, and you can see it will give me this shape that has 6 sides to it, and then you can move it wherever. Now this is where you can see the selection tool come into play. Now you can use the selection tool to move the shapes around. That's one thing. Another thing, you can use it to resize. I think I explained this earlier, but let's just go back to it. You can use it to resize your shape however you want. And if you come over here, as you can see, you can actually rotate your shape to whatever degree you want. Now let's say you've made a change that you were not happy with. A way of doing this, of undoing this, you can come over here, select undo move or undo rotate. That's one way. Another way of doing that is, let's say we've rotated it to this degree and it's not making me happy, is by pressing Ctrl Z, and that is the shortcut for undoing anything in Adobe Illustrator. Now another point where this comes into play is when you click. You can see these points that we have inside our rectangle. If you click and then drag on them, it will kind of form this rounded rectangle. As you can see, it has formed this rounded rectangle. Click again, you can actually take it back, and now I've taken it back. So let's do that again. Click on one of the points in here, click and drag until you form this rounded form of a rectangle. Then if you want to go back, just do that, or you can press Ctrl Z until you're back to its normal state. The same applies to every shape. So you can do this. This will actually give you an almost perfect circle, actually a perfect circle. As you can see, you can drag that out. There we go. And we're back to our square. So let's do that again and just click and drag in, and there you go. You have a perfect circle. So let me show you another trick that you can use to add sides to your shape as you draw. So as you click and drag, you can actually click the up arrow to add to the side, or the down arrow to remove to the side, and you'll end up with something like this. So you can see I have a triangle. If you want to add to the sides, just click the up arrow key on your keyboard and it will go on adding sides like that. Here we go. And you can do this with actually other shapes. So let's select the star shape. So as I draw the star shape, you can see it has 5 points to it. If you press the up arrow key, it will add arrows to it, more points to it. There we go. And there you have created a star with multiple points. So that's a really cool trick to use when you're drawing shapes. And again, you can come over here. Once you select on a shape, its properties will appear on the right side. Click on fill color, select any fill color you want. You can choose to have no outline, and you'll have formed this beautiful perfect shape. Welcome to another lesson, the Adobe Illustrator course for beginners. Now in this lesson, we're going to take a deeper look at this tool, and this is the direct selection tool. Now let's first start out by drawing a rectangle. So I'll select this and we have our rectangle drawn. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the direct selection tool. And with this, I can actually come and select a certain portion of the shape. Then I can click on the anchor and I can distort the shape however I want, and there we go. So you can click and move that point around. You're only allowed to move that point, distort it however you want, and create whatever shape you want. So let's try that again. I'll just click and drag over a point, then just do this. And as you can see, you can manipulate only that point. I can't manipulate any other point over here unless I select on it. But ideally, it's the point that you've selected that you're supposed to manipulate, like so. There we go. Now, once I've selected, let's create another shape. There we go. So I can come back again and select this button. And as you can see, it comes with this little kind of a node in here. So if I click and drag, I can actually round that end. So I come here, select this end again, click on this point and drag it in and create a curve, something like so. So there's a lot you can do with the direct selection tool on shapes. So let's try using an ellipsis tool. So first I'm going to have to delete this, or let's just move it over here. So let's create an ellipsis. There we go. I want a perfect circle, so hold on the shift key and there we go. Now with the direct selection tool selected, you can come and select a portion of the circle, and as you can see, it will show you the path, the anchor point, and these handles. Now you can click on the path directly and distort it, or you can choose to use the handles. So click the handle, drag it like so to create a shape, and each anchor point has its own handles. With the direct selection tool selected, if you click on any anchor point, it will show you the handles that it has, and then you can come and you can distort them. And you notice if I move one side, the other side of the handle will be affected. So those are some of the uses of the direct selection tool. you.